Hey, greetings my friends. Welcome to Larry's Fountain Pen Review, and I'll be your host. I'll be your main man, talking about what I love to talk about, fountain pens. High end, medium range, low ends, but not so much high end because that takes some bucks. But anyway, I do get them from time to time, but right now we're going to go low down to the ground because we're going to be talking about some cool pens here that are kind of fun and very affordable. There's some Sheaffer pens right here. Let's look at them. One came in red and one came in yellow. And just plastic, but what I like about these Sheaffer pens is that what makes them so cool, they have the ink windows, okay? So that's cool. And they have a nice clip here. Of course, the Sheaffer dot on top. That'll tell you Sheaffer. And on top of this one, it has the Sheaffer M for medium 1.5 millimeter. And this one is the Sheaffer, and this is a fine, okay? So they both have the wide bands with Sheaffer on it. They're simple, everyday, cool, fun to use. If you're on a strict budget, these pens are a lot of fun to mess around with. And they use Sheaffer ink cartridges. And I have a red one in this one, Sheaffer ink, and then there's a blue Sheaffer cartridge in this one. So they're not a very heavy pen, and they're in the 11.9 Gs with no cartridge in them, and they both come in at 5.39 inches when they're closed, and when you post them, which they do post nicely, at 6.07 inches. And you go down that barrel and you come into a grip. That's what I like about these pens. That rubber grip kind of helps your fingers there keep in place from sliding off. And then right below the grip you see some more of the barrel on the end. And then let's see if we can get a look at that nib. Yeah, here we go. So, and I'll just go ahead and unscrew the barrel for you. And these cartridges, they're Sheaffer, they just pop right in there. And sometimes you may have to get the pen if the ink hadn't gone down yet. You just kind of, I do it like this. I'll just use this ballpoint like this to get it started, or just get it on some paper, get that ink started, because sometimes not all of them start flowing pretty quick. But when they start flowing, they flow. So here they are. So I found these over at Barnes & Noble, probably, I don't know, back in, it could be 2015, 2016, 2017, somewhere in there, in that range. And I wanted to find out how these Sheaffer pens write. I am a big Sheaffer fan. I love Sheaffer pens. I love vintage Sheaffer pens as well. I've said it many times before. You know, I do love Pacific vintage pens. I have crossed that line, and I have got a vintage pen that I haven't done a review yet that came from Russia. So I'm just waiting for a friend of mine to see if he can get a translator for me to read all the information. If not, then I'll just go with the flow. So here they are, the Sheaffer, red one and a blue one. So let's see how they write now. That's the whole name of the game. It's all what's under the hood. Under the hood, speaking, is the nib. So, and again, what's cool about it, it has an ink window. It'll tell you when you're getting low. Okay, so let's do these little jewels here. And here we go. So let's do the downstroke first of all. And we're going to do the cross stroke. So you have a wider downstroke, and then when you cross stroke, much thinner. So let's do some writing with this pen. And I'm using the Franklin Christoph paper. And it does write nicely. It has some good ink flow. How about reverse writing? My fault. Okay, you can get a totally different line variation when you're writing. Let's just do a little bit of doodling. Do a little bit of coloring. A lot of fun to write, but they really are. You know, I love pens, you know, so I don't care if they're low-end, mid-range, or high-end. A pen's a pen as long as that nib is nice, tasty, wet, and smooth. So, let's go on to the red one, which is going to be the fine nib, and show you the difference on that one now. Here we go. Now to get this little baby started, okay. Now these are made for calligraphy as well. People that get into doing that kind of writing. And there were some hard starts there. The pen hadn't been used for many moons, but the ink, after you get writing with this pen, this certain pen, then you won't have those hard start issues anymore. But it's still a worthy pen. As you can see there's one, so I have to do a little shake. But that's okay. I'm still loving my pen. In reverse. And it does do reverse. And that's fast. Okay. So let's do this. We're going to do the downstroke and the cross stroke. And then we'll bring back the 1.5. We'll do a downstroke and the cross stroke. Okay. So I want to go up here and do a little coloring. Just doodling. Let's see this one. And that's just for fun. Now you can't make these pens into eyedroppers, obviously, or the ink will come right out. And already I've used quite a bit of ink, as you can see right there. Now what I'll do later, I'm going to go ahead and remove the cartridge, and I'm going to clean out this nib to see if I can get a better ink flow, because years ago it wasn't doing that. So one more thing, you can also mix and match your colors. See that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Check it out. So, for those who like to mix and match their pens, have you ever done that? It's kind of fun. So, there you have it. These are pretty cool pens. They're very affordable. I think you can get it for under $6, and they're well worth the money. You want to try a different size nib in the Sheaffer lines? Yeah, these are cool. Not a big investment, a lot of fun, especially if you're on a budget. So, folks, let me tell you this. I've been speaking to a lot of my pen buddies, pen pals, and some of them are really down in the dumps. Why is that? Well, they're disabled like me, and they just wish they could have some cool pens. So what I've been doing, I've been sending them some cool pens. Some of my private stock and some of the pens that my pen friends out there send me, I've sent to them. I won't mention any names. But there's two pen friends that I've sent some cool stuff to on the pens that some of my viewers have sent me and from my own private stock. I'm trying to help my friends, my pen friends, get out of the dump there. You know, they're feeling negative, feeling down. I get the same way, but you know, hey, my brothers and sisters, we got to fight, and get out of that mood. But I can tell you about it. When you suffer from pain, that's a bummer. But I hope you find this pen review interesting. It was fun. At least on my end was fun because I got to use the pens. So, hey, if you're brand new to Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews, you just found me. I'm out there in the maze somewhere. Don't go away. Hit that subscribe button right now. Bam! You're there. And don't forget while you're at it to hit that little bell, ding dong, so you can get notified when I put up a pen video. So people say, Larry, what kind of pens do you review? Whatever I get my hands on. New, old new stock, vintage. So pens is what my heart is made of because they bring so much joy and pleasure to me. I cannot explain enough what pens really mean to me. I don't try to keep up with the Joneses. I just try to keep up with me, what I can afford, and what the viewers send. So, with that said, my friends, I'm going to let you go. So, wash them hands. And as always, don't text and drive. Be cool like you're in school. Peace, love, out of here. Goodbye.